Here's a little micro question. When you're in big battles, how do you fight your opponent? Do you make all your units focus fire one at a time, or just attack key and then use hero spells? Anything special to consider when going into a fight? I attack move my bears, and I make my drads focus down his casters. So I'll attack move my bears into his rifles and breakers. I'll burn his archmage, and I'll attack click his archmage with my DH, which will have an orb. And I'll have my drads run to his back line and focus down on his on his sorceresses and priests and kill them, because they are doing a lot of damage to my bears. They're really strong when coupled with the rifles and breakers and stuff, because healing 25 health per second is a lot of health per second. There's not much to consider when going into a fight. It's just executing everything in the fight. You want to make sure you're using your items, you want to make sure you're using your hero spells, and you want to make sure your units are attacking the right units. If you've got 3 bears attacking a level 3 water elemental, then you're wasting a hell of a lot of it, like, damage. So that's a real big problem. When's the right time to tech against different races? The right time to tech against all races is as soon as you possibly can. As soon as you've got 20 food or 22 food or so is about the time you'll tech. So you'll have 20 food in, you'll have about 8 wisps. That's when you want to tech. When to go when going archers, when to build the hunter's hall. You want to build the hunter's hall halfway through your tech to tier 1 to tier 2, and you also want to put up a shop at the same time. When to do dual Ancients of Law, or 1 Law and 1 Ancient of Wind. It depends what strategy you want to use. I almost never do the 4-unit mix, so usually I always do dual Law. Can you describe how to build Night Elf bases? Not the build order, I mean where to build the moon walls, AOW, Ancient of Life, Altar, etc. Rule of the thumb: build your Ancient of War at the front. A modest distance behind your Ancient of War, build your moon wells. But make sure you don't clump them all up together, because if he uses Blizzard or something when he's retrained in the late game, or if he does something like that, then that's a problem. You want to keep your altar somewhere near the back of your base, as do you with your Hunter's Hall. Okay, remember how I said you leave a modest space between your Ancient of War and your Moonwells? In that space you put your tier 2 buildings, such as your Ancients of Wind or your Ancients of Law and stuff like that. When to scout with a Wisp? Please include all occasions: when going for a tavern build and straight huntresses instead of archers, or when going archers and without tavern build. Every time you finish your first Moonwell, you use that Wisp to scout. Every time. Leave that Wisp near his base so you can constantly use it to scout again. That's the answer to that question. You mentioned choke points in one of your audios. Care to explain it a bit further? You also said take some time to study the maps for yourself or something like that. How? Please explain the choke point thing once again, and maybe some examples on each map. Okay, when I said choke points, I meant like small points. Like, think about it this way: if your opponent has fiends and he doesn't have much of a front line, you know the between 2 spawns on Turtle Rock, there's in the middle of it there's that turtle camp. There are very narrow paths. If you can clump up all your fiends in that position, and he has bears attacking those fiends, those bears aren't going to be doing very much damage at all, because they're all going to be getting in front of each other and they're all going to be blocking each other. So putting your ranged units and fighting in a position like that, where you're maximizing your damage and minimizing his, is a very, very useful thing to do. Another one on Turtle Rock is the Tavern. The Tavern has a very big collision size. That means it's very big. If you to move around it, like, it's a big structure, so it takes up a lot of space, so its collision size is very big. So what you want to do is you want to put your ranged units sort of behind it, and you want to use it as a wall, so the melee units won't be able to attack your melee units. Just stuff like that. Study the maps for yourself. I did say that, and what I meant was you want to think about trying to set up a creeping pattern. If you go Dark Ranger first or Panda first, you want to know which camps you're going to creep out, and you want to have it set out in your head. You just want to know what you're going to be doing in that game and stuff like that. You want to know how to handle it. Just stuff like that. You just want to research the map, you want to understand the map, you want to get to know the map, and you want to know which camps you can creep and with what units. You want to know if you can creep the shop on Turtle Rock with 5 archers and a DH, or you want to know if you can creep out the red camps on Twisted Meadows with, say, a DH, a Panda, and a group of Dryads, like a full group including your heroes and stuff like that. When you can do it, how much damage you'll take. You just want to make sure you know what you can do at which point in the game. Question 9. Which maps to thumb down when doing ladder? 1 vs 1, of course. This has been a huge dilemma for me. Please tell me which. Okay. I thumb down Broken Shard. I thumb down Moonglade. I thumb down... Actually, I'll just tell you what I thumbs up. I thumbs up Echo Isles. I thumbs up Terranus Stand. I thumbs up Knoll Wood. I thumbs up Lost Temple. I thumbs up... I don't remember, but... Yeah, I think I thumbs up Tristfall Glades. Yeah, those are the only ones which I play often. Oh, and Turtle Rock and Twisted Meadows, that's it. Those are the ones I thumbs up. I'm not entirely sure about Tristfall Glades. Yeah, and the rest they have thumbs down. Which sound, video, and gameplay options do you use? I'm going to repeat the question here as I wrote in question 1. Did you make your own hotkeys? For example, Q instead of H for Huntress. Yes, I have my own hotkeys. I explained that earlier. And sound, video, and gameplay options. It's not very important. I keep game music off, and I have my video settings all on maximum, just so I can just out of habit, I suppose. It's important to keep your spell detail on maximum, because sometimes it doesn't show the spell about to be cast, so you can't tell what's going on. So, yeah. Okay, I know these questions are quite wide, but try to answer them. Smiley face. And please don't use any expressions, because I'm kind of out of date on those. Sincerely, Yaya. Yaya. Well, I hope I answered your questions. You can feel free to PM me if you have any other questions about Night Elf, and I'll talk about those in my next audio, as long as they're not like really long. I don't know how long I spent on that, but I think there was a lot to learn from that. So thanks for listening to this audio. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment in the comment thread with some feedback or something, or what you don't like or what you do like me doing, and please leave some comments about the music and what kind of music you want me playing, and PM me some music or something, like the song you want me to play in my intro, outro, and I'll do that. Thanks for listening, and peace out, I guess.